next up we are going to go with the dioramas. So this one, the third place on this was really hard to make a decision on. We were back and forward on this one quite a bit, but it all came down to literally what we saw in hand. So we went with the HMO. This is the 40K. So this is
fucking amazing.
The Chaos Marine. This is really, really detailed, really nice piece. You just know that little Space Marines fuck. But anyway, really, really cool piece. So much going on. And HMO did a fantastic job. Clean paint. Even the flames on the sword, they look really good, because that sometimes can go a bit like toy-like and a bit cheesy, and a bit like not really work. And they did a really good job of capturing that.
Yeah, they definitely did. It's very there's delicate parts. There's the gold work is some of the best I've seen on the statue.
That Superman didn't come out yet. They've delivered a few in China. They've delivered them to reviewers. So they've delivered them to people and they've been reviewed. There's a few reviews out there, so they are in hand. And that was about 3-4 weeks ago. So Stuart Murray put them out. So yeah, that Warhammer piece is one of the best statues ever. The Warhammer piece, is really.
It was really special. We went back and forward because we were debating whether the Figurama, the a la carte, should be in there, but we haven't seen it. We were due to see one, but it's been delayed. So really in that regard, we have to go with. Although it looks nice in photos, this looks nice in photos as well. But we've seen this, so it's very much like when two things are close in pictures, you've got to go with. But I've seen that in hand, and that looks the fucking shit. So I'm going with that one. And HMO and Mafuso did a fucking epic job with this. This was a really, really good piece, and probably in most other years, this could have actually won gold. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
It's just that the competition this year for dioramas was actually ludicrous. It's probably the toughest year. I don't believe that the next two things they're in. I don't believe there's a diorama that beats them in any year.
Yeah.
I don't believe it beats them in any year. So.
Sure.
Okay, so for our silver one, this was really tight with the gold and the silver, but for the silver, we've gone with the XM Studios Batman Sanity. I hope he's picked the smoke version, because that's the version I really like.
No, I agree.
This for me is just a massive work of art. It's an absolutely exceptional concept, and I think it's Finch, isn't it? David Finch.
David Finch, yeah.
David Finch. He did an exceptional job of this, and it for me it's a museum-esque masterpiece. It depicts so many fantastic things. It's not just the placement of the characters. It's not just how they're sort of more internal struggle of his mind in this depiction of it. It's just the balance of the piece, the sculpt work of the piece. I think this is this could be gold. Like I said, this could be gold any year. I think it would be anything else that's ever been put out apart from the gold that's maybe in there. And it was a hard call between the two. Yeah. But I
think the problem is when you have the color version, it looks cool color, but the problem is Batman doesn't pop, because Batman's grey and black. He doesn't pop. So when you go over to it, you're kind of drawn to
characters and villains,
like Poison Ivy, or you're drawn to these colours on the characters. You're like, oh, there's Poison Ivy. Oh, there's Joker. Oh, there's Mr. Freeze. Oh, Batman's in the middle. It kind of, that's the way it works. But when you see this one, you're like, oh fuck, it's Batman. And then look, all the characters around him, and I think it captures that concept a lot better. I think
I also think that it captures more of the overwhelming odds and the internal struggles, because Batman always comes across that he is not phased.
Yeah.
He always comes across that he's prepared. He always comes across that he's not phased by whatever odds he's facing. But I actually think this shows the weight of the challenge. Constant battles with multiple villains constantly, and them getting stronger all the time, and it just like weight. And it almost this depiction almost looks like they're pulling him into hell. They're dragging him down.
Someone did make me laugh though. They said they got the statue, and they were really happy with it. And they said, "Oh, I'm just assembling the statue. Really, really happy with it. Just put it together. Looking at it, it looks like Bane's in a bubble bath." Made me roll off. Stacey McBee, she's saying that Alakad is the statue of the year, my favourite statue this year by far. Statue Depot's Gem Mint store. I've not even heard of it. John Miller, Alakad is amazing. Missing the Riddler is unforgivable, but better piece than the full colour version. Yeah, problem with that is you have to kind of respect the artist. That was one of the things about it. Batman Insanity is insane. If I could have it, I would prefer the coloured version, though. Alakad, the piece was my personal favourite this year. I really hope the Sanity piece with Spider-Man. I'd love to see that. Smoke is definitely better than the two, but I heard the Batman Paint app is a bit hit or miss. Version is more classy for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that.
The figure gets lost a bit in it. I don't think the lower figures get lost a bit in it. I think Bane has always been my problem piece. Bane has always been the one I'm a bit like, okay. But they were talking about changing Clayface and Bane around, and then I don't know how serious they were, but they said that they put Clayface on the floor and he literally looked like a pile of shit. That's what they told me. That's what they said.
To be honest with you, you've got to respect the artist depiction and who he puts in there. It's his piece. You have to stick to that.
I agree with Gio's take on the statue. Good observation. True Alakad is top for me as well. Engineering on it is on another level. But again, it dropped out just because of the fact of, you have to kind of go by what you see at times when it comes down to the white and it's all close.
Alex, we've seen this Sanity piece in person. We've seen the gold win it in person, and we've seen the bronze. If we had got Alakad in, and it would have been all the things. I don't know how that goes together. I don't know if there's problems, if there's fitting issues. I don't know. We have to go with what really we can see. When it becomes them fine margins, pictures are not enough. The good thing about our awards in particular is that we have seen almost most of these pieces, like a good 90% we've seen in person. And that is high. Nobody has that kind of numbers. Nobody that does an award has seen as much as we have. So it is going to be as legit as we can get it. Now, we were meant to see the Alakad, but for some reason, we've had like a couple of delays in receiving it. So with that, we weren't able to, we weren't able to see how it fits together, how it looks in person. In pictures, it looks great, but so do all the other three. Well, you have to go with that line.
I've assembled a prototype of it, and I can't really go by that. If I do go by the assembly of the prototype,
it will lose.
It wasn't fun. There was 67 bats on his jacket, and to put those together was one of my least favourite statue building experiences. So next up, we're going to go into the large.
No, you're not. It's the gold diorama winner. This is silver. Sorry.
Oh God, gold diorama winner. So what we're going to do with this one is this piece took quite a long time to come out, but when it came out, there's no denying with the sheer size, scale, and engineering and innovation gone into it. So this is the XM Studios Sentinel versus X-Men statue. So this one, just for the sheer size, scale, and everything that was kind of put together from an engineering point of view into one, this had to win it.
When I saw this in person, do you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened, mate. I saw this in person, and do you know what? Do you remember that moment when we took out when Andy Fusco brought round the repainted black Spider-Man comiquette? Do you remember what we walked away, me and you, and we said to each other? We looked at each other and we spoke in private and said, "You know what? We've just realised we don't know shit." Yeah. There's so much amazing stuff out there that we need to see, because that has just rewrote the fucking rule book. We were just like, the standards on that are just insane, right? So we come out of there, me and Alex, going, what we thought was good versus what really is good, we haven't seen enough. And we need to up our fucking game and get seeing some shit. And this piece was that moment. I walked in and I seen it and I was like, I don't know shit. Like where they can go and what people can do is well beyond the realms of what I thought they could do. Where I thought the ceiling was versus where it actually is, I was no fucking where near it. I looked at this piece, I looked at the intricacy of it, how everything fit together, because I watched them put it together was watching them put the piece together and how it was going together and how they engineered it, and just the thought process that must have gone into every single element, like holding up the hand, jumping on his back, the way the angle of this goes in, the way that's holding up this and that's holding up that and supporting X and Y and Z. I was like, holy fucking shit, this is a serious conversation. Like, this is sitting down for fucking years getting this right. And it is an absolute masterpiece on the highest level. Like, paint-wise, sculpt-wise, it is an absolute masterpiece. It really is. And it is the best diorama I've ever seen, ever in my life. And I would definitely think this is going to take some beating. Really is going to take some beating. That argument would be Sanity pieces, classier, sort of more museum-esque. This is a showpiece.
Ben told me that if I had space for this, he'd send it to me. And I said to him, dude, I've got space for it. And he laughed and said, you can fuck off. I mean, one of the downsides of this is it did take 6 years to come out, or whatever it took. But
you've got to make sure it's right, I guess.
To make sure it was right. No, it wasn't 6 years. It was whatever it was. But but then they did that.
It's got to be about 3, isn't it? It's got about 3 or 4.
Ooh, I mean, this was there when I went to Singapore the first time. I think it went up in pre-order. So this was probably 17. It went up in pre-order.
This is 3 years.
Yeah.
It's only 2020, bro.
Okay, about 3 years then. Yeah.
It's not terrible for something like this. I just think it's an absolute masterpiece. I think it's incredibly special, and it's worthy of gold. There's nothing touching this. Nothing.
George V is back. We're going to keep calling you. Just because you're taking away the V, we still know who you are.
We know who you are. George, you're crazy.
Carl Mazzino took XM way too long. Yeah, for sure. It did take a long time. I don't think so. Carl, you've got it in hand. I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, I know you had an issue with, I think it was Psylocke Space, but what do you think about the piece overall? Are you happy with it? Yeah, shipping was insane. I think the math shipping was 7K. What? Shipping was 7K? Oh, with shipping. Fuck me. I thought it was just shipping. With shipping was 7K. I think the piece was 5K to start with, yeah. I can't remember the prices. Get the Sentinel, but no one would buy my kid. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's sad really that this didn't sell more pieces, because if it would have sold more pieces, they would have expanded the kind of line. They would have added more statues to swap out and whatever else. I don't know whether that's going to continue now, because I can't remember the edition size, but it was pretty low, yeah, for what it is. And I mean, because the thing is about this as well is you say it cost X to buy, but XM didn't make much money on this, to be honest with you, if they made any.
That's the one who made money on this. This is a loss. This will be a loss.
It's one of the things XM does do.
This will be a loss. There's no doubt they don't make money on these pieces.
They'll make things for like portfolio. They'll make things to say we made it. We pushed the boundaries and we made it.
This is what we can do. This is what we can do.